to the Rose Rehash. I'm Jared Freid, and happy finale night to you all. We have spent a whole season of The Bachelorette together. Cheers! Let's have a spiked seltzer to celebrate. We did it. To Tayshia and Zach C, you did it. None of us really care about you and your relationship, but we're happy to watch the whole train wreck all the way through. And listen, if you're here watching the Rose Rehash, I ask two things of you. Comment and subscribe. Comment and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this episode, of the finale, of the season. Get subscribed to the page because we are going to be back for The Bachelor starting in the new year. That's right. So we're going to be back 2021. We're going to be watching The Bachelor. It's going to be great. So get subscribed to this channel. Also, if you can see in the corner, the Mumsy t-shirts are still out there. There's still a few Mumsy t-shirts left. Shop.jaredfreid.com. Shop.jaredfreid.com for a last minute Mumsy shirt. You can use promo code SCREAM15 to get 15% off. That's right. Let's get to the episode. It was our finale episode. Now listen. There's never a lot that happens in the finale. Usually the finale is an hour long, and then it's followed by an hour of post-game, Chris Harrison running things, going through questions, asking questions. He brings on the person that was denied. We have the Dome of the Undateables. Due to COVID, we have a whole different drawn-out show. So while the show may have been 2 hours, there was really only 40 minutes of action. We start with Tayshia is approached by Ben. Tayshia goes and runs to the producers, says, I don't know what to do. Here's the theme on Tayshia. And it took a while for us to get here because Tayshia joined the show halfway through. But Tayshia is obsessed with being the good guy. She doesn't want to be the bad person. She doesn't want to look bad on camera. Tayshia's very aware of the camera. She's very aware of looking like a bad person, looking like the one that is mean to someone, and it is actually off-putting because Ben comes in, she goes to the producers, and she's like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's almost like Ben ruined her day by telling her he loves her so much that he had to come back. And it's like, you want one of the producers to go, oh, Tayshia, what's wrong? Did COVID affect your family? And she's like, no, a third man is in love with me. Like, you want her to have a moment of reality because it feels like Tayshia is really just really concentrating on being the good person this season. And we saw that in the beginning. Ben comes back. He goes, hey, I love you. Tayshia's like, I don't know what to do with this, but you can come to the rose ceremony. Tayshia treats rose ceremonies like it's her birthday party, and she gets Tayshia treats rose ceremonies like it's a birthday party where she forgot to invite a few people. Like, her friends that she grew up with were like, how am I not invited? She's like, of course you can come. She just lets him come to the rose ceremony. And at the end, she walks him out and he's like, can I hug you? And they hug, and all of a sudden they're making out. And you're like, okay, Tayshia, you got two guys that you've told you're falling in love with, one you've said I love you to. And you got this guy who just shows up and says, I love you, and now you're making out? And you're going to, say, yeah, come to the rose ceremony. I'll see what's up. Let me get a brief smoocheroo before you go. And it's like, I don't know. It doesn't ring well to me. They get to the rose ceremony. They got Zach C shows up. Ivan shows up. And they're expecting to see Brendan. No Brendan. All of a sudden, Ben walks up. Zach and Ivan react as if Vince McMahon was walking down the aisle at Monday Night Raw. They're like, what? Is that Ben's music? Who's that? And then Ben walks in, and Ben does this whole thing where he's like, what? I don't even know what I'm doing here. And it's like, dude, you went and made this all happen. Of course you know. Why are you walking and being like, I don't know what she's going to do? You made out after she said, I love you. So Ben comes back and Tayshia goes to pick up one of the roses and she goes, no. Ivan, can I pull you aside? She pulls Ivan aside, and at first Ivan goes, what, me, him, you, him, me? He does like Night at the Roxbury. He's like, you, me, you, me, you. And then she goes, no, yeah, you're coming with me. Like she's the principal. She's like, come on, you're coming to my office. Pulls Ivan aside, and she's like, Ivan, you mentioned something about religion the other night. And when she said religion, I was like, what? What is she talking about? Well, at what point during this season of The Bachelorette has religion been mentioned? Not to mention, I'm not going to get into comparing morals where you're on a show dating 30 men at once. You just did 2 fantasy suites with 2 different men within 24-hour periods. We're not going to get into that. But when she goes, you mentioned something about religion, I don't think we're going to work out. Like, I think even Ivan was like, what? Like, when did you become a nun? When did this religion angle come up? And she sends Ivan home on the idea that they're not going to match religiously. And you're just going, again, Tayshia, the theme. I'm going to blame something else for why you're not gonna stay. Tayshia, all you gotta say is, Ivan, I'm just not falling for you. You're not the match. You don't have to blame religious matters. You don't have to blame, the ghost in the sky. You don't have to be like, oh, but there was there was a sighting of an alien and he told me that God will be with you. No. Just give us the honest answer. That's what's going to make us like you, Tayshia. Hard decisions, hard answers, hard things to say, honesty. So now we get Ben and Zach C are our final 2. Okay. Ben is going to meet the family. The family's great. We've met the dad before. The dad is very protective of her getting another divorce. He's already watched her heart get broken before. This story tracks. He's watched her get broken up with before. They spent the night in a car together, being upset that she got divorced. Okay, that all makes sense to me. So he's going to be overprotective dad. So now Ben walks in and they have a pretty normal meeting. There's really nothing crazy that happens. Ben's respectful. The dad asks questions. The mom asks the easiest questions in the world. Tayshia's mom is the queen of easy questions. She's like, so, do you like my daughter? It's like, yeah, I like your daughter. Like, what's Ben gonna say? Well, I don't know, Mrs. Tayshia. I don't know if I'm really into her. 7 weeks in, being removed from society, haven't looked at my cell phone once. Yeah, he likes her. So now Zach comes in and meets the family. They have the same meeting. Zach is exponentially better at meeting a family than Ben. Ben was fine at meeting a family. Ben was an a B plus. Zach was an A plus. Zach comes with flowers. He's got the present for the dad. He shakes the family's hand. It just had a different look. And there was a moment where Zach's with the dad where Zach butters the dad's biscuit. He goes in and he slathers it on. He's like, and he knows how to tell a story. To be honest, Zach has had addiction issues. He tells stories like a person who's good at being good at having an addiction. Because if you're going to have an addiction, you have to be good at like telling people, dressing up what your story is. He dresses up his story in a way that you're like, wow, Zach. He tells the dad, he's like, you're great, you're amazing. She lights up every time she talks. Zach knows the key to Tayshia is through the dad. The mom, yeah, whatever the fuck you got to say. The brothers, yeah, sure. The dad is who he went through, and Zach did that. He threaded that needle. He did a great job. So now Zach has a date. we don't know where this date even came from. We didn't even know a date was going to happen. At this point, you just met the dad. What are you going to go? You're going to go talk over dinner? So Zach and Tayshia go on this date. They're going to learn how to wedding dance. The dance instructor doesn't look like he does a lot of dancing. He looks like he watches Dancing with the Stars with a beer in his hand. He doesn't look like he performs on Dancing with the Stars. So they dance, whatever. Tayshia takes it a little too seriously, and they get done with the date, and you can feel they have a connection. Now, it is supposedly time for Ben's date. Tayshia's actually wearing the same thing she wore 2 scenes earlier, so you think this might have happened before. Tayshia then goes to Ben's door, knock, knock, knock. Hey, man, this ain't going to work. She ends it with Ben. I'm in love with someone else. This was a point where Tayshia, again, she says to Ben, if we only had a little more time together, maybe we'd be together. No, Tayshia, you don't like him. You like Zach. If I'm Zach, I'm upset by this, and we'll get to this in the awards section, but I digress. So now Tayshia's talking with Ben. Hey, if we only had a few more minutes, yeah, okay, I roll. Ben, class act. Hey, I love you. I'll get over this soon. Leads her out the door. And it's like one of these moments where you're like, good job, Ben. Goodbye. Make it quick. There's nothing else to say. This is our second breakup. Leads her out the door. Now, we're going to have our proposals, and it's evident that, you know, they have the scenes of Zach getting ready, Tayshia getting ready, the big music. There's not much to do here. Usually we'd have an after the rose ceremony where we'd see the studio audience, the dome of the Indatables. We don't get any of that. So we have a drawn-out proposal. The proposal and the vows, they're all kind of stupid. They're all kind of corny. Zach does this weird whisper thing where he's going, I just love you more than, and it's like, okay, Zach, you don't have to do this. And they end it by Zach hailing one of his famous Southern New Jersey cabs, and they go off together, and that's it. That's our show. That's our Bachelorette. Tayshia and Zach, that's her new guy. Let's go to the awards. Now, the awards, the Batches, is where I give out roses to my favorite people of the episode and divorce papers to the worst people of the episode. And tonight was easy. I got to give my first rose is going to go to Tayshia's dad. Tayshia's dad played the part of protective dad well. He has every right to ask every question he asked. He was almost he almost acted as dad to all the people there. Tayshia's dad acted like he has been on camera every day of his life. That was what was so impressive. He's looking at Tayshia. He's like, I don't want you making the worst mistake of your life. Then he looks at Zach. He goes, what kind of man are you going to be? And then you got to make promises. And he looks at Ben. He goes, West Point, eh? I used to be a naval guy. And it's like, dude, are you taking classes? Like, how do you know how to be so good on camera? So good on you, Tayshia's dad. The next rose is going to go to Ivan. Ivan got screwed. Ivan was a great guy, is a great guy. He's a smart guy. He's an engineer. He gets stuck with the Airstream, and then Tayshia takes some bullshit side door out of breaking up with him through religion. And the problem is, Ivan, as I burp right on the rose Rehash, Ivan is not going to be the next Bachelor, right? Because too much time will have passed from this episode. Maybe he's on Bachelor in Paradise, maybe. But too much time will have passed from this season until Ivan has a chance to be the next Bachelor. He was too quiet, too reserved. He's not a big enough personality. So I feel for Ivan because not only is he not getting the girl, but he's also not going to get the glitz and glamour that comes with the Bachelor. The last rose goes to Ben. What I like about Ben is that, listen, Ben got dumped twice. Ben got asked to come back. What I liked about Ben is that when he got dumped, he didn't ask questions that couldn't be answered. He made it easy on Tayshia. Because he could have gone, Tayshia, you brought me back again. Why would you bring me back if you knew I wasn't the one, or if you knew someone else is there? And it's like, yeah, Tayshia has to do the show. She has to bring someone back. She liked you more than Ivan. And it's like, I don't blame Ben for going, okay, out the door, get out of here. Because let Ben go through the million DMs that he has. So I'm proud of Ben for just being like, we're broken up. Okay, get the hell out of here. Let's do this quick. Because, listen, it's very, some people, when they're dumped, they're like, why, until you're the most evil person alive. And then they go, well, I'm very confused. I need closure. And it's like, what other closure do you need? I don't want to be with you anymore. I've chosen someone else. There's your closure. So good for Ben. Let's go to the divorce papers. The first set of divorce papers, got to go to Tayshia's mom. Tayshia's mom asked the easiest questions. Like, Tayshia's mom, don't you have any interest? Like, give them one hardball, one curveball question. She's like, do you like Tayshia? So are you in love with her? Like, as if any of the guys are going to be like, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know. Like, Tayshia's mom, how about asking, like, hey, what's Tayshia's birthday? Like, that would have been more difficult than whatever. Like, do you think you like her? Yeah, they like her. They've been sequestered from their family and friends and their cell phones for 6 months. I think they like her. Now, the next divorce paper is got to go to the producers. We'd much rather have an hour episode of this show if we only have an hour. Don't stretch it out. This was a stretched out episode. It should have been an hour. Then it should have been Chris Harrison on Zoom doing an After the Rose with Ben, with Zach and Tayshia. We want to see them now. We didn't even get them now. We had to see taped footage from this summer. We're sitting here in a pandemic. Give us something new. We knew what was going to happen. We didn't need 30 minutes of vows. It was enough already. We didn't need to see the taxi cab when he's hailing it as if he's from 1950s New York. Just a lot of cheap filler this episode. The last divorce paper is going to go to Tayshia. Tayshia, I didn't figure it out until the last couple episodes, but you spent your time on the show trying to look as good as possible when that's not possible. You can't force it. You can't sit there and blame God and blame you didn't have enough time. You have to say to us, hey, that one's not for me. That one's not for me. That one's for me. We will respect you more for being honest, but all you did the whole season is play with these tendrils of hair every 5 seconds and then tell every guy that it's not your fault, it's something else's fault or their fault, or why didn't they cry? Why didn't they tell you I love you? Why didn't you believe the same religion as I did? All of a sudden you're holding rosary beads and you have found God in the last episode. Just take the bullet. Admit it. You didn't like this guy. You didn't like Ivan. You didn't like Ben. You liked Zach C. Go with that. You don't need to lie to us and give us 7 other reasons why you're a good person. We know you're a good person. We know that you're trying to do right by yourself. We don't need you to sell us. Just be honest. That's the Rose Rehash. That's our season. I want to thank you all for being a part of the Rose Rehash. This is the first season we've done it. I'll be back for The Bachelor. I want you to get subscribed. This is all about getting you involved with my YouTube page and my Instagram. If you watch all my stuff, get subscribed to my pages. Thank you all for being involved. Thank you for spreading the word. We'll be back next season. Boom.